What's up, everybody? Welcome to the podcast. Andy Gunnin here with the Fat Thor Podcast. And as always, my co-host, the one, the only TikTok sensation, Midget Mafia OG, Jody Cieutat. What's up, buddy?
What's up, sir?
We got a special one today. We've got some friends in the house. Some people have already asked, is this the one with Midget Mafia? Yes, it is. Where's Midget Mafia? He's here now. Okay, can we now get on with the show? Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you. Now we get on with the show with Gaming with Gab. Okay. This is a good show. We got a good show. Comedians. We are in a bunch of different groups right now, but comedians, if you're a comedian, want to be a comedian, thinking about being a comedian, this is a podcast for you. Why? We're going to talk about comedy. We're going to talk about the World Series of Comedy. We have with us the CEO of the World Series of Comedy, which is probably the biggest and longest running festival there is out there to get involved, to either learn to be a comedian or become a feature in the comedy world, and that is the World Series of Comedy. Welcome to the podcast, Joe Lowers. What's up, buddy?
Hey, how are you, man?
We're doing great. Glad to have you. It's only been 2 years since you've been on here. It's only been 2 years, so
really?
Yes, 2 years.
Oh my God, it feels like we did it every year. No,
no, we didn't. We skipped a year. No, you didn't do it. No, you didn't do it last year with me. I meant to ask you guys, but I had shelved the podcast for a minute and put it on pause. And so I wasn't doing it until about middle of the year. And then I got Jody on. So we've only been back doing it for about 6 months now.
well, I'm excited.
Yes.
You
We,
can't tell.
what's that? Yes,
If you can't tell, I'm excited.
I can tell. With your new computer and everything.
Yeah, I don't like I have too much space here.
We gotta work on the camera.
Yeah, I don't know how to get that closer. This is just too much. Like, you guys are all nice and close, and I feel like I'm only about a foot away from the camera.
It looks like you're about 10 feet away.
I know. It's like, and I'm right here. I don't want to move the camera now. We're in the middle of this thing, but
It's all right. Hey, Joe, tell folks.
I gotta go like this. Like, if I'm just sitting here, look how shiny my head is.
We need to work on your backlighting.
Yeah, this podcast is over.
I promise the World Series of Comedy has ran a lot better than this.
And me going to, yeah.
Yeah, that's why he's the CEO of comedy.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So, Joe, tell everybody just a little bit about the World Series of Comedy, what it does, and give an overview, because that's the biggest thing I've found when I have talked to folks about being in it. They get confused. I try to explain it to them. So just give a synopsis of the World Series of Comedy, how you came up with it, and what it does every year and what you've been doing.
Yeah, it is confusing. I came up with it, and there's still times I have to go back and look at the roles that I wrote because I don't remember everything. But
It's true. It's true.
Yeah, it's. But I'm a real stickler with the roles, and I think that's why we can become friends. Like, I can be friends with you and stuff like that, because it doesn't matter if you and I are friends. The roles are the roles, and I don't get to make all the decisions, which is cool. I have 4 other people watching the videos with me, and we all score them and rank them, and people get chosen by their videos, and it's not chosen by me. You know, I only have a little bit of the say of who gets in. So that's kind of fun. I mean, that's cool that it's a group of people watching the videos. I started this 12 years ago. No, I think it's might be our 14th.
13. I think in this 13th year. Or did I miscount?
2010. So this is our 14th.
14th. Oh, this is the 14th. Okay.
Wow. I started because I'm a comic. I've been doing comedy for a long time. When I was on the road as a comic, I would come back to my home club in Pittsburgh when I lived there and try to get the club to hire guys because I just like helping comics, and they wouldn't do it. So I put together a contest and we ran it in Pittsburgh. Well, then I moved to Vegas to do my show, and I lived in Vegas for 15 years. And while I was there, I started the World Series back up, and it's just grown from there. And my goal each year is just to try to help comics grow and become better and Jason and I and my whole team, Jason's the VP of the World Series, and the whole team that I have with me, my hosts and everybody, we just work to try to help comics. And I think when comics register, they should definitely plan to try to come to the main event. And you've been there several times. It's a fun
every year I've been a part of it. I've showed up.
Yeah, it's a fun week. It's just like a business, like a job seminar.
It really is. It's probably one of the best groups of, like you said, seminars. Like you probably hit that on the head better than you thought, because that's basically what it is. We are competing at night and doing shows, but during the day there's 2 classes. There's one at 10.
Seminars every day, yeah.
And they're all different. They're from building your set and not actually constructing a set, but building your comedy set. To guys who are like, hey, here's what I figured out. I run Excel sheets. This is what made my life better. How to write jokes. You had Joe Corley last year again. He was in St. Louis, which, by the way, if anybody knows Joe Corley, knows of him, he charges money to sit in every one of his sessions, but he does it for free. So you get free help from guys who literally have been on the Tonight Show, written for the Tonight Show, and all that. So
yeah, and then last year Eric came out from APCA.
Yeah, Eric came out again. He came out the year before, and my buddy AJ ended up doing, I think, 40 or 50 shows he booked him on last year or something stupid.
I think it was more than that. He's making about $80,000, $80,000 to $100,000 this year in college stuff. And every time AJ's posting something on Facebook, I'm like, can you give the World Series a little bit of credit?
Well, I was in that meeting with Eric when he pulled me and AJ out, because AJ was on the same show that I was, and he pulled a group of us out and sat down and talked to us all, and just kind of went around. He goes, you'd be good for doing this, you'd be good for doing this, and you just kind of went around. And then you got the AJ, he said, you'd be great for colleges as well. So AJ followed up with him after the comedy, and that's what this whole thing's about, folks. It's about being a comedian and being on your, they're presenting you all this opportunities. It's up to you to follow through with them, because that's what comedy is.
You got to put the work in.
You got to put the work in.
Yeah, the work as a comic, performing's not our job. That's the payoff. It's to get to perform. All the work that we put in to get on stage, and that's kind of what the World Series does. I work with a lot of comedy clubs around the country, and I ask them for work, and not for me, for the comics, for the winners. I've been working with them for years. My goal every year is to get at least about 35 weeks of work for the winner, 20 some weeks for second place, and 20 some weeks for third. And I've hit that mark every year, and we keep adding more and more. Jason and I just started WSOC Records. Our plan this year, we put out our first CD just recently with 8 comics, and we plan to at least try to get 1 CD per satellite this year. So every comic who comes has a chance to possibly get on one of our CDs. And
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun. We worked all last year on recording audio. Every satellite we went to, we set up mics. We would listen to them afterwards. It took us almost a whole year to get the audio to where we thought it was good enough. I mean, we would do a whole satellite, and it would have a buzz, or it would have something, and I'd go buy more equipment, more stuff, and watch more videos and learn, because we don't, this is new to us. But we recorded in Vegas this year and got some incredible audio, and it's been fun.
Well, the club, y'all recorded at the LA Comedy Club, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Which is an amazing venue. They remodeled, and it's amazing venue.
So nice. It's unbelievable. And I'm talking with Matt. They also are the ones who run Oya or OYO, Oya, whatever.
Yo, let me share this with everybody. This is what the World Series of Comedy looks like for the next year. Let's walk people through this a little bit. So when you sign up. You can sign up for all these satellites and or just a couple, correct, Joe?
Correct. Right now, you can pick just 6 for our December. What is this? What month is this? January. January. So you can pick 6 of them. If you want to pick them all, there's another separate registration price. You can choose and pick them all. But we start off by letting everybody pick them all. Then we keep cutting it down. And then the normal registration is you register and you pick 1 satellite, and you come to the, and then the main event. So,
but anytime you register, you're allowed to come to the main event, no matter if you placed or didn't place in any satellite. Correct?
Yep, that's really what you're registered for. When you register, your registration is for the main event. The satellites are just something extra that we do to try to let the comics be seen in another club. Not everyone can make it to the main event, so maybe if you can't make it, you can pick one of these clubs here. Maybe it's a local club that you've been trying to get into, so you're like, well, you know what, I'm going to go to that one. I would tell any comic that's registering right now, if anyone's listening, they're going to think about registering. If you're not going to try to make it to the main event, you probably shouldn't register. Or if you only want to register because you want to come to one of the House of Comedies or Laugh Boston or something like that, then register for that. But know why you're registering. Don't just register and then be upset if you don't get in or something like that. I mean, because this is a hard satellite to get. I mean, this is a hard festival to get chosen for. We'll have close to 500 and some comics or more register this year that are trying to get 101 spots in our main event, and we'll have over 100 and some comics registered for each one of these satellites, and we pick the top 40. So it's hard. So, but if you register and take advantage of everything we offer by coming to the main event and coming to the seminars and getting notes on your video, things like that, then it's worth it, I think.
No, it's definitely worth it, and here's why. Because I've been in comedy a very short period of time here now. We all know, basically 3 years.
I didn't want to say anything.
Well, of course. Well, I'm going to be.
Well, let me tell you who's not getting into the satellite.
Who's that?
You.
I know.
If you don't submit a video.
I know. I have not submitted a video yet.
Dude, you registered, and I was looking last night, and I'm like, well, that's what I'm going to talk to Andy about today. Anybody don't do what Andy did and register and submit a video.
I registered in November. I register at the beginning of every year when you offer the $65 for all satellites. I'm always right after we leave Vegas. I turn around as soon as you send the first. We're taking registration. I sign up for $65. It's the best $65 I've ever spent in my life, in my career as a comedian right now. Okay, so I will say that I will go on the record for that because I have grown in 3 years exponentially. I've
seen you grow. I'm not kissing your ass or anything because we're on here. I've seen you get better. It's actually shocking. No, I'm just kidding.
It is shocking. It's
been cool. It's been cool to watch you grow, and you really have what I was saying about not getting in, and then some comics get upset or get mad. You never did. You really delve like deep into this and understood what it was. It was bigger than just getting to perform, and you have always, and that's where I think a lot of comics really need to look at it. Don't get. It's hard to win this thing. If you're registering to win, it's nuts.
Yeah, I mean the amount of talent in this thing is nuts. It really is. It really is. I mean, there's guys from California, LA to New York who have been in this game for a good bit. And I've become good friends with these guys. And I look at these guys as mentors and learning from them. And I've become great friends with these guys. And they have taught me a ton. Taught me and just sat me down like, hey, man, this was good, but here's what you need to look at and do. Okay. And this is just us sitting around talking. I would not have these opportunities and be with these people and be with these great comedians had it not been for the World Series of Comedy and sitting around in Vegas talking.
Yeah, it's fun.
And it's fun.
Yeah, I know one of Jason and I's favorite things, and I know it's one of my favorite things, is looking on Facebook and seeing comics either being nice, that's nice, but what I really like is when they're busting each other's balls or saying smart ass shit to each other. And I know they wouldn't have known each other if they hadn't come to the festival or the main event. Like there's guys, that are in LA that'll post something and somebody in Indiana or Georgia or whatever will comment back. And yeah, maybe they had met somewhere along the line because comedy is a small world and we do get to meet each other a lot. But man, to see all that going back and forth, it's a lot of fun. It's I really enjoy that.
Oh, it is. My network has exploded every year. I meet somebody new, connect with somebody. I will tell you on record that every year I probably get at least 5 or 6 new shows in new states and areas just from the connections and meeting the comics and folks at the World Series of Comics.
Yeah, when you go out and you network, that's what you're supposed to do. It's all about the network. It's all about hanging out. I love it when a comic comes up to me during the festival or even during one of the satellites and said that maybe didn't win or maybe didn't even place. And they come up to me and they're like, "Oh man, I get to come back here and work," or "The guy liked me and I'm coming back." And I'm like, "That's great because that's what this is all about."
Right. And that's what I tell folks. It's like you may not place in that satellite, but people get work at those clubs from the club owners or managers who's there, that whoever they liked them, and we're like, "Hey man, you want to come back?"
Yeah, they're getting to see 40 comics in a week. I mean, they try to switch stuff up as much as they can. So I mean, 40 comics in a week, there's got to be a few that they like, hopefully.
Yeah.
So
well, I will tell you for a fact, my home club is the Punchline in Atlanta, Georgia, which is on the roster again this year, which I'm very
it's such a fun club.
Yeah, this is where I started. This is where I did my first set ever. And they, for a fact, Marcy, who is the club manager, for a fact, watches every comic. And she looks at them.
Great.
And she will use them if she likes them. She will use them.
She talks to me after every show. She'll be like, "Can you give me this person's information? I really wanted them to win, but they didn't win, but I still like them." So I mean, it's fun. It's cool.
And what I want people to take away from this, because not a lot, and I don't want to throw festivals on their bus because there's a lot of good ones out there, and some I have not been involved with and stuff, but I have been involved with the few I have. Sometimes some festivals, you end up, it's a small festival, 3 days, and short list. You spend $20 again, and you look at it, and it's all a bunch of their buddies and stuff like that. This is not that. Me and Joe are friends. I am friends with Jason, but they are just as hard on me, or if not harder than anybody else out there.
It's funny because I think I sometimes am harder on the people that I get to know. Because I try not to be. I try to keep it fair and watch the videos. But if I've seen you do better somewhere and you send in a video that's worse than that, I'm like, well, why did you do that? Like, I'm going to yell at you for it.
And that's why I haven't sent a video in, Joe.
Yeah, if you perform and you don't do as well, then I'm like, sometimes I'm just like, I can't give you a good score just because you did good at this other satellite. You didn't do good at this one. Yeah. And this is why. What happened? Let's try to figure out why you went from this one to that one. You did good at this one, but you didn't do good at that one. Let's try to figure out what happened here. So it's fun. I love it. Like I said, I'm a comic. I've been doing comedy for, I think, I don't know, 28, 29 years, something like that. I do this because I enjoy it. I love being around the newer comics. The excitement from them keeps me excited in this business. It's a nutty thing. We got some great new satellites this year. So
that's what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to bring up the new satellites. Who are the new satellites? I know who they are. You tell us who they are.
We did Mic Drop last year, and then they wanted to switch it up a little bit and only do a couple days. So it kind of worked out because the stand-up comedy club in Bellflower had gotten a hold of us last year, but they were so close to San Diego that I don't usually like to do satellites that close to each other. But it was crazy how it worked out. Mic Drop only wanted to do a couple days, but they didn't want to do the weekend because they wanted to keep the weekend open for other things. Stand-up comedy wanted to do it, but they only do weekend shows right now. So it's like, well, how about you guys do it together? So that really worked out. And then we got Laugh Louisville. That's a new club it's not even open yet. It's going to be open, I think, by the end of January. I just talked to the owner who owns Laugh Boston. Anybody who's ever done that club, it's such a beautiful club. It's an incredibly beautiful club. I hate Boston. I'm from Pittsburgh, so I'm not a Boston. I love the club though. It's a great city, and it's a really cool town, and the club is just absolutely beautiful. The staff's so much fun to work with. Joanne has been the GM there for years, and she's just great. And John, the owner, is so easy to work with. And when they opened up Laugh Boston, I was like, holy crap, this is, I mean, they opened up Laugh Louisville, and I was like, that's great. So that just added another one to our roster. And then House of Comedy, they just keep opening up clubs left and right. And John, the owner of Laugh Boston, is part owners with some of these clubs. So it just kind of keeps growing, and we're getting some pretty good clubs. We're going to be going to Detroit this year for the first time, which is pretty fun. And all the Laugh Boston clubs are absolutely beautiful. And then we're going to Comedy House in New Orleans, which I've never been to New Orleans.
Oh, I love New Orleans. New Orleans is one of my favorite cities. Yeah,
that should be a nutty week. And I've talked to the owners there several times, and they're very excited about having us. So that'll be a fun time. And then we, some of our staples, Laughs Unlimited in Sacramento. Jen is just a huge supporter of the festival. Absolutely beautiful club. Anybody who's signing up to go to the Punchline in Atlanta, anything on the East Coast, should also sign up and try to go to McCurdy's. You done McCurdy's?
Yeah, I did McCurdy's last year, and that was probably one of the top funnest satellites I've done in a while.
It's insane.
That show we also
always packed.
It's always packed, from what I hear.
Well, she came up to the Bronwyn, the GM. She comes up to me the one day, and she's like, "Sorry, we didn't get all the tickets sold or something." And I was like, "Oh, that's okay. How many do you think we're gonna have?" Just 250 tonight.
I was there last year on a Wednesday. There was over 200 people in the crowd. It was packed wall to wall. It was a hot show. The crowd was into it. And this is a 7:30 show, okay? Packed Wednesday night, wall to wall, 200 something people.
The crowd looks like they're gonna die at any moment. They're old as shit. Like I swear, you just feel like when they turn the lights on, someone's going to be dead in the room.
Yep.
Yeah, it's so. But I tell every comic when they come down, I go, don't look at the audience and freak out because they're old. Know that they get it. They're cool. They're hip. They're into everything. And it works out.
The Wednesday show is that there was a good mix of age group. It wasn't just a bunch of people dying. It was a great age group. Actually, it was such a good show. It was a good stacked up lineup. All of us in the bag go, I don't know who's going to place in this. Everybody just brought it. It was just one of those, who?
What's great about the World Series is the comics that end up getting in and really taking it serious and being part of it and growing with the family and things like that. Most of them are pretty cool about like if they don't place it. There's not a lot, like sometimes people are like, is it hard dealing with all these comics? The majority of them are pretty cool. Every once in a while you get, probably every year I get one or two crazies, but they usually weed themselves out because they don't want to follow the rules and they don't want to learn and they don't want to grow. And they already know everything that they think they do. They already think they know everything they need to know and they don't need any kind of help. So, great. Festivals aren't for everybody, and contests are not for everybody. So if you think, you got it and you know it, but the comics that really get into it, I get very little people getting upset after the shows. They usually look at the show and go, you know what, that comic was better than me tonight. Doesn't mean that they're better all the time. We've had satellites where we've had almost the exact same lineup, and different comics win in different cities and different times. And maybe they didn't win last time, but they were like, you know what, when I come back this next time, I'm going to turn it on and kick butt. And they did.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's great. And I enjoy going to the different satellites because there's 2 clubs on here this year I'm excited to go to. Even if I don't make it in, I'm going to still show up probably.
Where's that? Which ones are those?
New Orleans. New Orleans is one of the top ones, and the Detroit one. Those are the 2.
Yeah, those. Yeah, I think
I'm really excited about.
Yeah, you have zero shot if you don't submit a video.
I know, Joe. Again, I'm just going to tell you this flat out. I have recorded probably 6 videos, and every time I record the video, something weird happens where I'm like, I can't submit this crap. I cannot submit this.
Like what? What do you mean weird?
It's just, it goes from I get cut off, like that. I get cut off. The last one.
Why'd you get cut off? Because you ran the light?
No, I did not run the light. Here's what happened in the last one. Not to throw anybody under the bus, but I was doing it at the Laughing Skull, professional one. I paid for it, and I was doing it. Well, unfortunately, the manager who I'm good friends with was running around. It was a packed show, sold out show, and I'm doing it. Crowd's hot. It's going great. All of a sudden, he likes me. I know he likes me early by accident, so I keep going. But I'm seeing the light go, 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 go. And their rule is if you go past the light X amount of time, they hit the music. Well, there was a new guy up in the booth, and I was scared to death he was going to hit the music on me. And I was like, shoot, I know him about a minute short, but I said, you know what? I've been up here long enough. I'm going to wrap it up and come off. I came off stage, still had a good set, but it was like 3 minutes. And then I go to the back, and he goes, Andy, did I light you the whole time? I go, no, you lit me at like 2.5. Like 2.5 in. He's like, oh, shit, dude, I'm sorry, man. I was running around. I hit the thing. I wasn't sure. I was not paying attention. And then he said, where are you at? I said, I'm dead on 3 minutes. I said, but send me the video. And the video is dead 3 minutes. It's nowhere near 5. And I'm like, God bless it.
So you know what a 3-minute video will do for you more than no video?
Probably a whole heck of a lot more.
It'll give you a shot. Now I'm gonna yell at you, and Jason and I are probably gonna yell if you send in a 3-minute video.
I know,
but it's better than nothing.
It's better than nothing. But here's the thing:
no video, no score.
I know y'all are
no
strict
shot.
about the rules, and I don't. And look, and y'all have even said it before. You say it at every Sally. You need a 5-minute video. If it's short 5 minutes or 4, you're automatically it's going to almost disqualify you. It's going to hurt you on points.
It doesn't automatically disqualify you.
Okay, my bad. Doesn't automatically disqualify, but it kills you.
It's going to hurt your score because everyone else. We're watching 5 minutes of everyone else, and we're only watching 3 of you. I'm always like, why would you want to hurt yourself as a comic? We're going to watch the 3. The same as we would somebody's 5. We've had Ty Rivera. Do you know Ty?
Oh, I know Ty. Ty was just here in Atlanta, hung out with him, and we talked.
Ty's one of my past winners, and I didn't know him at the time when he registered. And I remember clicking on his video and seeing it was 3 minutes, and I just remember going, best 3 minutes I've ever seen. Slaughtered him. He didn't need 5. His video was from a special with Fluffy, I think it is.
Yep. Yeah, his special with Fluffy. Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, it was so good and so crisp and so sharp. He didn't need 5 minutes. He got a great score from me on the 3. So, I mean, it doesn't – if your 3 is incredible or it's really good, you might still get a good score. We're not going to disqualify you. It's just I care so much about comedy, and anytime anybody's like, "Oh, you're just doing this for the money" or whatever, it's like, well, you can do the math if you want and figure out how many registrations.
Yeah, let's do the math.
And see if it's worth it for you to run a company on that. This is a business. I make money, but I do it for the love of comedy. I wouldn't continue to do this if I didn't love comedy. I get so. Even if I don't know the comic, when they register, as soon as they register, I feel like I'm working for them. I owe them. They paid money to be part of the festival. I owe them help, whatever I can give them. So when somebody submits a shorter video or something like that, I get frustrated because I'm just like, don't hurt yourself. Now, if I watch the video and it's a great 3 minutes, then I'm like, oh well, they did a good job. They knew what they were doing. And that they submitted, But if I watch it and I'm like, if I saw another 2 minutes, I could have increased their score a little bit. Then I'm frustrated. I'm like, oh, why did they hurt themselves that way? And usually somebody who sends in a 3 minute or a shorter video or something like that are going to be the first ones that complain and go, why didn't I get selected? Well, you put yourself in a hole right away.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's
they're just above the people who didn't submit a video at all.
Right. Yes, I'm aware, Joe. I got you, Joe.
You're not the only one. There's a bunch of people that do it.
I'm going back to reshoot on the 23rd.
Yeah, I know that you will submit a video. There's many people who register, never submit a video.
Really?
I don't understand. Yeah.
I don't understand that. Now, if it gets down to it, I'll submit something, and like you said, I don't want to submit something that was worse or as good as last year because I should be better this year, in my opinion. That's just me personally, and I know, and you know me, and and that's just and I'm like, I can't submit because then Joe's gonna bust my nuts, telling me, you're better than that, or you did better, and then why are you sending me something worse than what you did?
Was there? You did a couple satellites last year.
I did several. Yes, I did a couple. Yes.
So you got videos from us at those.
Yep.
Was there any that you really liked? I can't remember offhand, but I mean, was there any that you thought you did really well, or?
Yeah, there was two. The first one I didn't do so well, and I changed my total set and went and started doing this storytelling on the wax hamster stuff, which I did at House up at Mall of America.
Yeah.
That was a good video, and then I got a good video from McCurdy's. I was, and then the end of the year, the LA Comedy Club. That's probably the best one. So
you have those videos from us. So I mean, if it gets close to, submission time, get it in. Get one.
It just feels weird resubmitting something from the festival back into the festival. Does that make sense?
I understand that it might feel weird, but we're 100% okay with that. There's been many times that we've had comics register that we know and have submitted a video, and we start to watch it. We're like, why didn't they send the one from Boston? They placed. They moved on. Or it was a killer 5. Or I mean, like, why wouldn't you? I don't get it.
Yeah, the one from LA Comedy Club's probably the best one I did. The audience was in tune, and everything was in sync. I was like, it was really was. Not to say the other ones were bad. It was just a really good setup. There was like 85 or 89 people, and everything was just thumping along.
Yeah, that club is really fun.
It is. It's amazing. It's amazing. I did 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I did 4 satellites last year. I ended up in 4 of them, including in September.
You did a couple other ones, but they were like at the last minute and you couldn't make it.
Yeah, there was the Ohio one when you were. Yeah, I had flown back. I had just got back home, and Joe sends me a message. And this happens, folks. This happens. And I flew back from Vegas. I just got back from Vegas with my wife, and I was out there. She had some work stuff, so I went along with her, did some stuff out there, and came back. He goes, "Hey man, I know you just flew back from Vegas. Can you be in Ohio in 8 hours?"
I don't think it was that close. I think
it was pretty darn close.
It was pretty close. Yeah, it was pretty close. That's how everybody's video gets watched. Everybody gets ranked. Top 40 gets selected. As comics drop out, then they're pulled off the list, and the entire list moves up. So,
and that's what I tell. This is a good point. This is what I try to tell folks. Look, you've always got a chance. People drop off. People who make the list drop off, and then you get bumped up. You need to be, flexible to be willing to go or ready to go.
Yeah, if you register for this festival and you live, in my opinion, if you live within an hour of any of the satellites and you don't make that satellite, you still should show up on Wednesday. Because if somebody doesn't show up, which happens a lot, when you're dealing with 40 comics coming in from all around the country, 16 of them performing on Wednesday, in the wild card show, I bet you out of the 12 satellites we do, there's got to be at least 6 of them where somebody doesn't show up. And that really frustrates me because I know that there's a list of probably 80 to 100 comics who didn't make it in who would love to have that spot. So I really get mad at the comic who doesn't show up. And it's not for me or for the show. I get mad for the other comics that comics, and I usually tell the comics, I'm like, just know that you screwed 80 comics out of getting to perform here because there's comics below you that scored lower than you that would love to have that spot. So, respect the spot, respect that you got it, and show up. And if you're not, give me time to get somebody there. But lots of times I've had cards break down people's other reasons they couldn't make it. If there's a comic standing there who's registered for the festival, no matter what their score is. If they register for the festival and they're standing there, I'll put them in.
Yeah, and it happens all the time. I've seen it. I've seen it happen.
Yeah.
It's happened to me. It happens.
Yep. So if you live within a short distance from any of the satellites and you're registered for the festival, you should come hang out. Definitely on the Wednesday. I mean, the Wednesday is the only day that I can put you in. Once the Wednesday after that happens, then only comics that can be moved in on the other shows would be the ones from the Wednesday show.
Now let's touch base on something. Now I know you don't divulge a lot of this information, but and people have asked me, it's like, well, how do you get to Vegas? How do you get to perform? How do you get on? And there is a scoring system which we are not privy to as comics, but there is a scoring system, correct?
Well, you're privy to it. I'll tell you how it works. I just don't tell you your score.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's what I mean. You don't.
I don't tell comics their score because unless I show you the entire spreadsheet, like you could score stage presence, originality, and overall, and you get 10 points for each one. So you can get a total of 30 points from each judge. I may look at you, Andy, and go, I gave you 22 or 21. And you're like, what? Out of 30? That's bullshit. Well, that might be the best I gave. That might be my high.
Right.
But you don't know that. You're just looking at it going, so I've learned over the time, if I tell comics I did this early on, I told them. I'm like, oh, you got this much points. And they're like, I got nothing but people getting mad. And I'm like, whoa, that's not why I'm telling you. I'm trying to. And then I realized, I grow and I learn every year about things. I realized without seeing all the scores, you don't know.
Right. But, a lot of people ask, I'm like, look, you show up, you perform, you're getting points. The more satellites you go to, the more you perform, the more you are, the more points you gain to get
correct.
Okay.
So we'll have close to 500, possibly more, that register. And there could easily, I see it all the time, there could be 10 or 15 comics that end up with the exact same score. So how we break that tie is we break it down by judges first to rank them. My score, then Jason's, then the next judges on down, to rank those comics into a who was above the other one. But if you showed up at a satellite and performed even in a wild card satellite, you get half a point added to your score. Doesn't sound like a lot, but that half a point could put you above the 15 or 20 that you had the same score. Yeah, you did that.
It's happened to me. You even told me that. You told me that.
Yeah, you kept moving up because you were tied with several other comics. But then you showed up at a satellite, you got a half point. Then you showed up another one, you got another half. So now you have 1 point more, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're putting this all to a spreadsheet, it's insane how many, like the number. So, yeah, we don't show the scores, but that's how we score. It's all in a spreadsheet. It's none of the judges see the other judges' scores as they're scoring the videos. So no one can look at somebody and go, oh, this one gave him that much. No one sees that. I can see it, but I don't look at it until I'm done watching the videos. All I look at is, hey, you still got 10 more videos to watch. Like right now, I got to, but I have Dan, who used to be one of my hosts, but he's in charge of all my videos, and he handles all the videos. He handles all the links coming in when somebody didn't submit a video when they registered, and they submit a link later. So, yeah, Dan Fritchie handles all that.
There's the team of the World Series of Comedy this year, 2023.
Yeah, that's a pretty scary looking team there.
All good folks. Good folks. So we know,
with hair, some with lots of hair, some with thinning hair.
Yes, all good folks. All great people. Jason Rowland, Vice President, and then you got Dave Koosgaard, Dan, Maria, Kevin, and Seth. So yeah, good stuff.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, that's it. I don't show you the scores, but I've seen some festivals do show the score.
I don't want to know. I don't care to know the points. I was just trying to, let people know because I try to explain it. I said there is a point system, and you do get points and earn points as you go through to get on. I'm glad I don't know what the number is. I don't want to, all I know is I didn't place and I need to.
I think, that's it. I think it would confuse stuff even more by showing all the scores because then people will be looking at that. And I also think that's not what it's about. We have a point system because we have to determine who's in.
Right, and that's for you guys. That's not for us. That's for you guys.
But you getting in and how you performed, let's talk about that. Let's talk about why you didn't move on. Why, let's go. We go out after every satellite. We go out to dinner. We have notes. We sit and talk about every show. It's so funny because Jason and I will go out. We'll talk to all the comics, everybody, and then half the time him and I go back to the condo or the hotel or whatever, and we'll sit for another 3 hours and analyze comedy and break it down and talk about shows. And sometimes we end up emailing a comic later and going, hey, we thought of this and try this, or this was something that we thought worked well or didn't work, or, why are you doing that and stuff. So it's pretty, we really enjoy it.
Yeah. And it's good to know because here's the thing that we don't do that doesn't happen in comedy a lot. It's like you do a set somewhere, you come off, people go, good set, even though you might not have had a good set. You might have, the punchline was flat or in the wrong place, or you needed to tag it up or something like that. Nobody ever tells you that was good, but here's where you went wrong. That's where that's what frustrates. I keep telling
you do that too much. Sometimes I do it. Part of the issue is I end up. I'll let you get back to bed. I start treating everybody the same, like I've known them forever. And I've had comics get upset, and then I'm like, I'm sorry, I should have went into this smoother, because I'm not real smooth sometimes. I'm just like, why did you fuck that up? You screwed that up. And then I'll break it down and we'll talk about why. But sometimes I'm not the greatest at just.
No, I don't want to beat around
you. Like Andy, you come off, and sometimes I can't wait for the show to end. To come up to you and say, why the hell did you do that? But I know that you and I have talked enough that if I do that with somebody else, sometimes I have to be like, oh wait. Hey, why did you do that? Instead of, what the hell were you doing?
Yeah.
And then once I get to know them, then I'm just like,
no, you have. You've got, and that's what I want to know is like, what did I do? What? Because you don't realize, you're like, what did I do? And then you go, you did this. Why did you do? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think every comics, a lot of comics do this, and I love it, is, they give each other taglines after shows. And
100%.
Yeah. And I think that's a wonderful thing that happens with comedy. And, they don't always. You don't see your own taglines and things like that a lot of times when you're on stage. It's great to have somebody else give them to you.
You don't. And I've like I said, I've created a lot of good friends from the World Series of Comedy, who are comedians who've been in this game a lot longer than me, who are making very good livings at it, who are plugging away, and who will actually have, sat down with me and spent hours with me going, tell me what you're trying to do, and let's talk about what you're doing. And just sit there and dissect everything. You're like, holy crap. And then you're like, I didn't see that. You don't see what.
You think my Trump board game?
Oh, I love that.
It's really old.
That is old.
When all this shit was going on with Trump, I'm like, hey, don't I have a board game? And I dug through all these old board games and I got them all just to bother people.
That's awesome.
And then I got Danny Gans over here. You guys, know who Danny Gans is?
Yes.
Danny Gans was a famous, I don't know if he's famous or not. He had a big show in Vegas. And he died.
Yep.
So then when I flew back from Vegas once into Pittsburgh, MC Bob, a friend of mine who comes out to a lot of satellites, an older guy, picked me up at the airport, and he was holding that sign at the airport. So funny. Like I'm off the plane and I'm walking down and he's holding Danny and I'm like, oh fuck. That guy's dead.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
that's crazy. But this thing is set up to basically help comedians become features and be better at becoming a feature at clubs and growing in that spot.
And if you're already a feature in a club, and we've had headliners register for the festival.
Oh, there's tons of headliners that are in this thing every year.
And then you're just going to get exposure and learn and help the newer comics. If you're a newer comic who hasn't featured yet, then this is a great festival for you to see the process. I've had comics go, man, I only got 5 minutes. Should I register? Well, because you could get to perform at that 5 and let that 5 minutes get better and grow. As long as you register, understanding that you're probably not going to move on. Now, if your 5 minutes kills and you move on, then you better figure out how to write 2 more minutes really fast.
Right. Well, I had a friend of mine here from Atlanta register late into the season. He's like, dude, I see your thing. You're in this every year. You're out there doing stuff. He's like, I said, dude, get in it. He said, well, there's only 2 satellites left. I said, Joe's running a special. Go ahead, submit. You may not get in those 2. If you don't, at least you get to go to Vegas and come to Vegas with me. Be in Vegas with me for the whole week. And I ended up having to leave early this year. And he did. And he came and he turned around and looked at me before I left. And he goes,
Who was this?
Mookie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And Mookie goes, this is the best thing I ever did. And I will be a part of this next year from the go. And I said, you better be up there competing with me. You better be up there.
Yeah, he registered again this year, and he submitted a video, so he's above you already.
Above me already. Nice. That's what I need. I'm a bottom. He's a top. That's what we are.
Oh man, that's weird. I didn't see that.
I gotta do a
Jody, what's your story?
Jody.
Yeah.
Jody's a TikTok sensation.
I'm an old guy. I don't want to do TikTok, but yeah. I probably should.
That's why I was just listening, because the comedy world is completely away from me.
I keep trying to tell him he's got so many followers in TikTok in the world. He's got 3 million followers. He could do.
Oh, that's great, man. That's really cool.
He could go do a set and have like a packed house.
Yeah, but he got to be funny. Are you funny?
No.
Yeah, so he's smart. He's smart. He knows it. Just because he can have a packed house, you don't want to stand up in front of people and eat a bag of shit.
I mean, I can stand and wave.
Yeah.
Look, Jody's getting paid more than any comedian right now by his product endorsements. Tell him about the product endorsements you're doing right now.
I'm doing Feet Finder again.
So, can you teach us anything?
Do what?
Can you teach us anything?
Probably, yeah.
Where do you live? In Georgia?
Yeah.
Georgia.
Will you come out to the satellite and hang out with us?
We would.
Yeah, I'd love it. I'd love to meet you in person and pick your brain and learn. I want to learn from you.
That'll work.
I want to steal everything I can from you and then just toss you aside.
Game on.
How many cameos have you done? You were a #1 cameo producer before the end of the year, right?
Yeah. We have done, I think I've done like 120 since the beginning of the year.
That's super cool, man.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's like 12.
I love you. I see that. I love you on your little.
Yeah, people love Jody. Yo, they're here for Jody. Jody. Everybody's asking, does he own his own business? Yes, he does. He does not own Feet Finder, but he is a product endorser for Feet Finder.
You can buy my feet too.
And you can
Just
buy
saying.
Jody's feet. You can buy Jody's feet.
Push it, shit. That's great.
You can. We're trying to get Feet Finder to come on the podcast.
Yeah.
What is it that you're saying?
Feet Finder.
Feet.
Finder. Pictures of people's feet.
Huh.
So I know you've heard
And
about
that's a sponsor?
You know about OnlyFans and people talking about going on OnlyFans.
Yeah.
So there's
and you make money off of this?
I've made money doing our advertising.
Am I in the wrong business? Are we all in the wrong business?
We're all in the wrong business, Joe.
It's all about the feet.
Dude, here. I'm gonna pull it up real quick. Let me pull it up. Give me 1 second. I'll pull it up on the
man.
screen. Hold on. Here, I'm gonna pull it up. See, I'm trying to get them to sponsor the show, but I keep advertising for them for free, and Jody gets paid, which I am a moron.
Well, we all know that.
Here, let's pull it up. Oh, here it is. Here it is. All right, let's share the screen. Add a screen. Here's Feet Finder. So how it works? See all these people's feet. They're sellers, and then so tell us how it works, Jody.
Basically, you create an account and you put a little bio up on it, put your feet on it. People buy them. So basically, you gotta advertise yourself though.
There's that many people in the feet?
Dude,
Apparently.
apparently so.
Yeah. I read the statistics on Google, and women make like up to $50,000 a year selling feet if they push it.
Oh, that's just nuts. Do you have feet
Yep.
on there?
My feet are on there.
Yo, hold on. I'm trying to find Jody's. I can't remember. I found Jody's by accident when I looked at this thing. When he told me he
You
was
found
doing
them by accident late one night
Yeah.
when you were in
Yeah.
by yourself in a room.
I didn't know about Feet Finder till he started product endorsing them, and
And
all
then
of a sudden,
you make money off of that.
what's your account under, Jody? Is it Midget Mafia or Jody? I couldn't remember.
It's.
Is it under Midget Mafia?
I'm trying to think. I think it's Real Midget Mafia OG.
Real Midget Mafia?
Yeah, because I had to change my TikTok handle because they banned me again.
Even though you got 3 million followers.
And what is your TikTok about?
Yeah, I had to. They told me the other day a video violated some kind of policy, and then when I went to log back in, they made me change my name.
Holy
Really?
crap. Even though you have all those followers, you had to change your name?
Yep.
Does that mess you up?
Not really. Or so far it hasn't.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because he spun off of TikTok when he got banned the first time. He started another account. Then he spun off and started saying, and then started pushing things out into different platforms away from it to keep going.
Yeah.
So you do YouTube a lot?
We are actually fixing to start YouTube. Getting all the stuff ready to set up our channel.
And what is your channel and what do you do? What is your thing?
For the YouTube stuff, I'm going to do like inspirational stuff, talking to business owners, do some cooking shows and stuff like that. Just kind of spin everything together.
And what's your TikTok then? Hey, that hurt. Whoever wrote that.
I know, that did hurt.
Everybody's here for Jody.
I know, everybody's here for Jody. But you know what? They learned a lot. They learned a lot.
You know what? That hurt me, but not. It probably hurt you more, Andy, because this is your show.
Yeah,
Why do you think I got Jody to be a co-host? Why do you think I got Jody to be a co-host? I'm not dummy. I'm like, Jody, come on the show. Be a co-host on the show, man.
That's what I'm talking about. It's not my show.
Yeah, I'm very interested by what you do, Jody. I think it's really cool.
Show.
It's cool. It's I always feel like the World Series should be doing more. I just on that kind of avenue, TikTok or Twitter, and we try to, but we just don't have enough people to do all that.
It's definitely a niche that you got to find and then tweak it.
It is. Yeah. It is. I'm stuck at 18.7. I can't get past it. I keep getting suppressed because I keep doing stupid stuff.
And your TikTok, you were saying, what's that about? Like, what do you do on there?
It started off as me just doing some videos of like me being short and accomplishing certain stuff. And then people wanted to come in and do some bashing. So then I just started turning it to a comical approach to them bashing me. And then it just went from there.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's taking a cool turn.
Yeah. A wild turn.
Yeah.
Changing of the phone numbers and locking your front gate turn.
Well, that's cool, man. Well, I'm glad that you're not getting into comedy. No, I'm just kidding.
Why would it? It's more lucrative not to.
You're doing what you're doing. I really enjoy that, and I'd like to meet you in person. So please come hang out at the Satellite. I think it'd be fun to have you around. And I'm not asking because you have followers or anything like that. I'm asking you because we're meeting right here, and I just think it'd be cool.
Yeah. Well, like I said, everything's got their little niche, and there's a lot of different things that can mesh together and make something.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the World Series, I started out as a comic, and I never had. If somebody said, "Hey, you're going to run this big festival," I'd be like, "Nah." I didn't think it was. And then the first year I did it, it went really good, and I was like, "Oh man!" The second year, 2011. Man, I was a bear to be around. I was a nervous wreck the whole year because I didn't know if it was going to happen again. I didn't know if comics were going to show up. And then it did. Like, I didn't know if I got lucky the first year. And then it worked. And then comics showed up the second year and the third year. And it's so weird. Last year, I've had so much fun at the main event and the satellites and everything. And I think they've all done really well throughout the years. Last year, I felt like the main event was one of the best we ever had. We had some incredible industry there. Everyone seemed like they were having fun. There was so much learning and so many the satellites. The seminars were just really cool. It's good. I think the World Series is going to grow bigger even over the next year or so. I hope. Now, are you having
more fun doing this than you are when you were doing your comedy routine?
No, it's weird when you perform as a comic, and this is something you can only talk to a comic about. When you come off stage, that feeling is undescribable. Unless you've done it, even when it's good or bad, when you come off stage, that feeling is incredible. Or when you're on stage and it's going really good. I oddly get close to that feeling when I see a comic from the festival doing good. Yeah. So I still get that feeling, like excitement when I see somebody who maybe didn't do good at the last satellite but did better this time because we talked, or just comes out and crushes it, or the excitement, the fun that they're having. I feed off that. Performing, I love it. I've gotten so busy with the World Series that I haven't performed, and my show's probably not totally politically correct, and I've kind of gotten fed up with the world in the last several years. But I just booked I'm going to be doing one of the Sunday night shows after the end of the New Orleans satellite. I'm doing a Sunday show there, and I'm going to try to book several more and have my host stay on the Sunday and do a show there. So I'll be doing my show again this year, and I'll have some fun with it, I think.
That's cool.
Joe does a great show. And Joe will close out the shows a lot of times and do about a 10-minute run, and he is freaking hilarious. So if you're in New Orleans or wherever Joe's going to be doing these shows, I suggest you go because they are fun.
Yeah, I'm going to get a hold of the Punchline and see if they want me to do, because they do Sunday shows, so I'm going to see if they want me to do
Yes, they do. They do Sunday shows.
Yeah.
And
since
then
we're already in town, let's see if they want me to do one of the Sunday shows. So I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
So anything else you want to cover, Joe, before we land this plane and get out of here? Sign up at worldserieofcomedy.com.
Yep, sign up for the worldserieofcomedy.com. Check out, we don't have the website built yet for WSOCrecords.com, but we're going to be working on that, and know that we're pushing that part of the business this year, so that could be helpful to any comics who sign up. That's it, man.
Cool. Yeah. Again, the reason why I did this podcast is because I believe in the World Series of Comedy. I would not have probably, gotten better in this shortest amount of time that I have. Not great, but I've learned.
No, by no means great.
By no means great. By no means. I don't even know why I get booked. But anyway. But I think this is probably one of the best festivals as a developing and even experienced comedian. Andy,
the first time I met you, remember you came to St. Louis?
Yes.
You got a hold of me right the week of, and you're like, I didn't make it in, but can I come and do one of the late night shows? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, you're like, okay, I'm going to quit my job. And I'm like, no, don't do that.
True story.
I'm like, don't quit your job, man. And you're like, nope, I want to come to this festival. I want to see it. And I remember, I remember like walking up to Jason going, there's this dude coming. He's quitting his job. I don't want that pressure. And then you showed up and you were like so much fun to be around and just happy and smiling and carrying on. And I'm like, this dude just quit his job. Like all week, I thought about it. I'm like, what if he doesn't do well here? Or like I was worried. Like all week, I'm like, I don't want him going, well, the World Series of Comedy made me quit my job. Like I thought I was seeing headlines. I'm like, this is not good. Like I worry. Like this guy, I don't know.
No,
you said it worked out. We talked. You told me
out.
they got you back, and then now you're doing what you want, and it worked out. But that was the first time I met you.
Yep.
It was crazy. It's like this guy's quitting his job. He can't quit his job.
I know he goes, you didn't quit your job. I looked him dead square in the eye, standing there in St. Louis, and I went, yeah. I told him to F off, and I got in a truck and drove up here.
I'm like, what the? This is crazy. I'm glad you did. I'm glad. Thanks for having me on your show. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Nice to meet you, Jody.
You too,
sorry, I don't know about your TikTok, but I just don't. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, or I won't get any work done. I'll be looking at feet and shit.
Probably.
Yeah.
He's got other videos to look at.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta watch. I gotta watch 100 and some comics videos that submitted a video right now.
But it won't be none of mine.
Hopefully, you better be, Andy. You better get one in.
How long do I have? I'm
You
reshooting.
probably got emails from Dan. 1 million emails already.
No, I haven't gotten anything from Dan.
Dan Fritchie sends out emails constantly saying you need to submit your check.
I haven't gotten one from Dan. I did get one a while back. Hey, you know that the submitting was being done different to upload it into a different thing now, and I was like, okay, but no, I haven't seen anything.
If
since.
you go to the calendar,
Yep,
on our website.
Okay, let's pull this up.
Yeah. Click on calendar.
Click on calendar. We're clicking on calendar for those that are watching. Those that are
there's a list of everything.
He would freeze right at the greatest moment that he needed to be talking. He freezes.
Yeah.
All right, so I think what he's trying to say, and maybe he'll come back here in a second. He froze. Basically, what he's saying is it tells you the registration, when your video is due, if you go to the calendar, and the cost to pick the satellite, if you're doing the single satellite or doing all that's broken down in here. Okay, so yeah, so I've got 2 more days to send in my video. Okay. I guess I'm sending in I got 3 days. I got 3 days. Well, the good news is I am doing a show Friday night, so we'll record that one, which I'll record them all, and hopefully it'll be a good one. And I'll stay on script. So Joe's gone. Joe's great having you on here.
Yeah, it was.
For those interested, Jody, what do you got going on, buddy? What did you got coming up? Hey, I wanted to talk about. I saw something. What did I see that you're? What's been going on? Because you'll probably say something about what I wanted to talk about.
I just been doing advertisement, learning how to make myself valuable.
Learn how to make. Okay.
More valuable.
Huh?
More valuable.
Oh, more valuable. Okay.
Yeah.
More valuable. There was something I saw the other day, and I was like, I got to talk to Jody about it. And Joe says my internet went down. Well, at the perfect time, Joe, because we were done with you anyways, and I know he was done with us like 20 minutes ago. But anyways, go to worldseriescomedy.com to register for and be a part of the World Series of Comedy if you want to be. If you don't, great. That's your choice. So, but yeah, God, what would you do? You posted a video, or there was a TikTok or something that you posted the other day, and I was like, I have got to remember to ask him about this.
You know, when I post stuff, I really don't think about it. I really don't even go back and look at them. So there's no telling.
I don't know either, dude, because I haven't been on TikTok lately. I'm doing a new thing where I'm posting stuff and I'm walking away from it. And I'm not even, I'm not going down the rabbit hole. Okay, Joe's back with us. Let's see if Joe has. Hey, are you back, Joe?
Yep.
Hey, there he is.
I guess that was perfect timing. We were pretty much done, right?
Yes, we were done.
Did you go over the dates and the list and see when your videos due?
Yes, and I see mine is due in 3 days. So, so if you go to calendar, mine is due in 3 days for the first satellite for Oyo.
Yeah.
So, so either I got to have a good video on my Friday show this Friday, or send in a 3-minute video that I have at the moment, or something maybe worse than last year. So,
Or the LA Comedy Club one that you said you did 5 in, and that was good.
Yes, and now that I know that I can send in my video from the competition, I'm going to go back and look and consider sending probably the LA Comedy one in, because I think that's the best one if I don't get a better video this Friday of my set. So that's what I'm probably going to do.
Step it up.
So now I've got a game. See, I even learned something here today.
Hell yeah, you did. You
That's
learned
what it's about.
What'd you say, Joe?
You learned you better get your video in.
Yeah, learned I got to get my video in. Learned I got to get my video in. And Jody's going to go with me to Vegas in September. So
cool.
That's what's happening there.
You're paying, all right?
Who?
What's that? Huh?
I said Andy's paying, all right?
Oh, I thought you were talking to me. I'm like, I'm not paying you to come. Andy can pay you to come.
Joe will let you in for free. That's about a.
I'll give him a pass.
He'll give him a pass.
I'll give you a pass. You can come to all the shows and hang out with us.
Yeah, he'll give you a pass.
It's a good way if you decide you want to get into comedy. Take what you got, because I agree with Andy there, which I hate to say, but if you have this many followers, and Andy's correct, you could walk into a club and pack it and make some money from that. But I also think that you should get some skill as a performer, and because that's a hard, man, stepping on stage, and they're going to expect a lot from you because you're, from TikTok and stuff like that. And if you ain't ready to give it, that could really crush you as a person.
Yeah, exactly.
So come out to the festival. I'll give you a free pass. You come out to all the seminars, and it'll help you figure out. Go, okay, now I need to go back and write some stuff, and then take what you know already and turn it into comedy. That could be huge, man.
That'll work.
Yeah, then soon, right after that, then you could have your own podcast. You wouldn't have to be, Andy's assistant or whatever the hell this
He's not my assistant.
Yeah, whatever this shit is he makes you do, Yeah,
I don't make you do anything. I just ask you to show up.
Andy, please be quiet. Jody and I are talking. All right, thanks, guys. I appreciate you having me on.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
See you,
Andy, just wrap this stuff up. Do what Jody needs.
I'm trying to land the plane. I tried to when you went out. I tried.
Jody happy. He's your golden goose. Yeah.
You showed back up like an ex-girlfriend. I don't know what to do.
Just fucking ride Jody's coattails, Andy.
Look, man, I gotta do something. I don't know.
Yeah, just hang on. Just hang on to the back of that hat. He's got turned around so you can hold on to the back of his hat.
Jody has hats now. Jody has hats. He has merchandise.
Yeah. Yeah, you can hold on to Jody's hat and just ride along.
Yeah, that's right. Whatever
it takes.
Yeah, and guess where you can get your stuff? Oh, Jody's read on his website at midgetmafia.us. So go in there and get some of his shirts.
You couldn't get .com?
It was too expensive.
.com.
Somebody already had it, and it was going to be like $3,600.
Well, you're making all that feet money.
I like the U.S.
All right.
The U.S. is cooler. It's better. It's better for
right.
what for kind of what he talks about and does. I agree with Jody on that.
All right. Thanks, man.
See you, Joe.
Appreciate it.
Good night, guys.
See you, Jody. Hey, man, it's a good show. Thanks for being a part. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and 17 other platforms. And go to midgetmafia.us. Get your shirts. Get all your stuff from Jody. All that. Hit him up on TikTok. You know where. Half of the actually, everybody who was in here was not for us. It was for Jody. So that was great.
Well, I'm glad I asked about him and got him talking to him.
Exactly. Oh, I forgot I was going to show this. Yeah. So we got some stats back. Our top show of last year, which we only came back for 6 months, was when I introduced Jody as our new co-host. That was the #1 show, obviously. Still only #1 because of Jody. #2 was guest comedian Dougie Almeida. Dougie's been on the show. Been a good part. I met Dougie at the World Series of Comedy. We became friends. He actually stayed here with me the other night before he flew out to do some shows. Good friend of mine now. We have been in 31 countries downloaded. Germany is #2. We're big in Germany. I think we're going to take over David Hasselhoff's seat. No, just kidding. Spain. We're the most popular cities in Frankfurt am Main, Hesse in Germany. And then Ranson, Wisconsin. I mean, you can't get any better than Germany and Wisconsin are your top cities.
You better start learning some German. That's all I'm saying.
We're going on a Germany tour, Jody.
All right.
All right, guys. It's a good show. Thank you, guys. Register World Series of Comedy. If you got any questions, text or email Joe directly. If you need his information, let me know so we can.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
I'm okay. Get it out there.
I'm kidding. I say that because it's an inside joke about how many emails Joe sends out a year and then how many he gets about stuff.
I can imagine.
I sent out a few. We sent out a few.
All right, guys. Be good.